our regular agenda for April 21st and invite the surveying members of the board, Susan Mattern.
Here.
And I saw Bob Don a little while ago. I hope he comes back in the window. And I didn't see or hear from Ryan if he's on. Oh, good morning, Susan. And I did see Bob.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Susan.
I enjoyed the comic strip.
It was very good.
You guys are so smart.
That had no reference to the executive session, did it? No.
No, none at all.
It works for
All right.
me.
At first, it was just a joke because I thought it was very funny, but then all of a sudden I says, "Geez, this kind of pertains to what we're talking about." But
let's see. We really can't move on anything till Bob comes back in the picture. Jane, is Ryan not going to be in attendance today? Do you know?
I did not hear from him at all.
Okay. All right. What should we do? Should we wait for Bob because or we do just continue with the engineering aspects? Let's move on to our regular agenda then. We have item D, which is a list of applicants or candidates who passed the CBT exams for engineering between March and April. So those are listed on page 2 and 3 of our engineering applicants agenda. Anyway, so that's D1, applicants who have passed the CBT exams. Majority are civil, a few mechanicals, a couple of environmental. The next group is D2. It's a list of those who have been provided reciprocity as class 4 applicants. This month, there were 65 applicants. And moving on to page 5 of our regular agenda, we have one applicant that I reviewed for class 1, credit part 1. That's Christopher Dione, a BSCE from UConn. He has all of his endorsements in order, and he's actively working in a hydrology field. So I recommend approval for Christopher Dione for class 1 exam. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I don't know who that
Rob.
was. Rob, thanks, Rob. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. John DeWolf reviewed Dunwoody and Hassan for class 1 exam.
I move approval.
Second.
Thank you, Richard. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Bob Doan reviewed Chetra Hang for class 1 credit part 1.
Chetra has a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering and has been working for Connecticut DOT. So I looked into her experience, and she works on the rail lines for the electrical power and everything for DOT. It was pretty interesting. I make a motion to approve Chetra.
Second. Thanks, Rich. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Rob reviewed Vaughn Barros for class 1.
Yeah, Vaughn has a Bachelor of Science Civil Engineering, good degree, good signers, and 4+ years of experience, so I recommend approval.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Rob. Bob. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And Andrea Zatorsky was reviewed by Richard Swezak.
I recommend approval. She has a degree from Northeastern and passed her fundamentals from Rhode Island and has almost 8 years of experience. So, she's
Second,
I'll second.
thank you, Rob. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none, that motion carries. And John DeWolf reviewed the next two applicants, Sahid Faruqi Mohammed and Terashal Office.
Okay, Jane, did Mohammed have both exams?
Yes,
I missed that. Okay. Office has taken both exams, so then I move approval of both for class 1 license.
Second.
Second. Thank you, Richard. All those in favor of Mohammed in office for class 1 license, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. This is again a case where they've taken both exams in other jurisdictions. They come to Connecticut for license, right?
that's correct.
That's it. Okay. The next applicant reviewed by John DeWolf is Turbayevsky for class 2 exam, credit part 1.
Has a BS in technology and the adequate experience, so I move approval.
Second.
So at the risk of prolonging the discussion, based on our categorization today, this would have been a technology degree of 4 years with acceptable experience.
7 years of experience, yes.
Okay. The system is working. All right. Moving on, we have the next group of applicants for class 4 licensure. The consideration, I must say, in light of our impending discussion, took a little bit more brain power and consternation, but I think I got it based on what we've come through today. I had reviewed 4 applicants, Shah, Brown, Shalhoub, and Fazil, taking them one at a time. The first one, Asha, has an ABET accredited bachelor's and a master's from the University of Nevada. He's licensed in 21 states. Over the years, he's concentrated in structurals, owns his own company. He's now working for another firm. So in other words, he has great experience. He has 27 years experience. It's an EAC evaluation. I don't really understand why, So perhaps without reading everybody into it, he has a bachelor's with an engineering accreditation, but not ABET, and then a master's in civil engineering with again 27 years experience. Well, I recommend approval, and I would accept a second on that
I'll second.
recommendation.
I'll second that.
Yeah, Tony, I had a similar applicant with the same question mark on it. Like, what makes them a non-model law?
Yeah.
I couldn't figure that out.
So
And that's a real question. What kicks them into that non-model law category? I don't know. So I'd be curious.
well, once again, however I could look at it, with the experience that he has and the education's, 2 degrees that he has, I see no reason why he doesn't qualify under our current statutes and or our outline for today, in that he has the 4-year degree plus a master's. So that one's been moved and approved. So the next one was Meredith Brown. She concentrates in transportation and hydrology. She's got an ABET degree, again, EAC. From Rice back at 19. She's got a master's in civil from the University of Texas and a PhD. So the experience is fantastic. The education is beyond. Therefore, my recommendation is to approve Meredith Brown and would accept a second for that.
A second.
Thank you, Al.
Did we
Once
vote on
again,
the
these-
first one?
We
I don't
did vote
think
on
we
the
did.
first one, yes.
No, we did not.
I don't
Yeah.
think we did.
No.
We did. Okay. Well, I recommended a Shaw. Richard seconded and for approval. So all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Meredith Brown, again, bachelor's in 19, master's in 20, PhD in 24, transportation, hydrology, great experience, all recommendations. So my recommendation is to approve. Albergina seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Michelle Chaloub, he has a foreign bachelor's from Beirut. He has a master's from Berkeley in 84, a PhD in civil from Berkeley in 87. He has 165 credits evaluated, no deficiencies. He's in structurals and a major consultant on bridge restoration. My recommendation is to approve. Is there a second? Thank you,
Second,
Richard. Yes, sir. All those in favor of the motion to approve Michelle Chaloub, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. The last applicant that I reviewed was Mirwais Fazil. He's a foreign degree, evaluated very good, no deficiencies, 147 credits. He has a master's from the University of Hartford in 18. He's a transportation and construction engineer, and now he's a offshore structural consultant. My recommendation is to approve.
second,
I'll second.
Thank you, Rob. All those in favor of the motion to approve Fazil, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. You know, just as go back for a moment in my notes, you know, for example, on Brown, even if they took her or assumed that she was a non-graduate or some other deficiency in the education, she still ends up with sufficient of 7 years experience. She gets another one for a master's and 2 more for a PhD. Jane, how do these applications get sent over? Do you initially look at them and just send them based on the application with the ABET? That's how they come to us, right?
Right, anything that's non-model law. is
Right. Yep.
What you review. Yep.
Right. So it's just a safety, you know, double check is really what it comes down to. All right, the next group of applicants was Feek and Gifford, then Hamadou, Ibester, and Kana, reviewed by John DeWolf on page 5 and 6 of our agenda.
okay, I'm gonna separate out Feek.
Okay,
Licensed in 8 states, California, Colorado, New Hampshire, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin. 6 degrees. And I'm gonna move that he not be approved because when I look at the degrees, here they are. A BS in political science, a Master of Science in Public Administration, a Bachelor in Fire Science Management, which are mostly management courses, an associate's in engineering from Central Texas College, which took him, took him from August 2021 to May 2022. So it was a 9-month with 4 basic engineering courses. A non-degree from Liberty University, a master's in engineering management from Liberty University, which he completed from February 25 to December 25. He's a PE in fire protection, good experience. If I were looking for somebody, I would consider hiring him. But there is basically far, far, far short of a 4-year engineering degree. And so I move that he be denied.
Second.
And
I
it
mean,
was,
how
by
did-
the way, there was no NCEES evaluation, but there's no way he could come up with 48 credits. It's
Right.
How does, what'd you say, 11 states licensed him?
8 states.
eight, including California, Colorado, and so on.
I wonder what their basis of licensing is.
He's never been denied. He didn't say he's ever been denied registration. That surprised me. This is just,
All those in favor of the motion to deny, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
okay, now I'll review the others.
Next applicant on page 5 was, Gifford, Hamadou,
Okay.
Investor, and Kana.
Gifford took the PE exam. It says there 12 times, there's only 7 listed. That's sort of surprising. The next one, Hamadou, was a foreign BS with a US Masters. Investor is used our form, not the NCEES, but is okay. And Kana, the last one, had a discipline problem. He has a BS in engineering from India and a master's from Syracuse. And the discipline problem, it's a long description. I'll try to shorten it. But in 2009, did preliminary design. It was used by the architect to get preliminary budgeting information from the town. The city looked at him, and his firm was not licensed because he didn't need to be licensed at that point. So they filed a complaint. By the time he finished the design, the firm was licensed, and so everything was okay. He could have appealed it further, but it would have cost money, so he didn't. So basically, the discipline problem was not important. It was sort of unfair what happened to him. So I move then Gifford through, Gifford through Kana be approved.
I'll second it.
Who was it second? I'm sorry, I didn't see. Bob? All those in favor of the motion to approve Gifford through Kana, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Let me just make a mark. All right, Bob Doan reviewed King, Cott, Lowe, Martinez, and Marrakesh.
Okay, I'll start individually. Daniel King is a non-model law because of discipline only. He offered engineering services in Ohio for a longtime client as he was applying for reciprocity in Ohio and also licensure of his firm. And Ohio took exception to that he offered engineering engineering services without being licensed, even though a couple of weeks after he wrote the letter, he got licensed. So they charged him $1,000 and they signed off on it. But that was why he's not a model law. He went to Rice University as a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. So I make a motion to approve Daniel King.
Second.
Thank you, Richard. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
Okay, Lauren Knott is didn't register with NCEES. That's why she's not a model law. But she went to got a degree in environmental engineering from University of Delaware. And I have no transcript. And I noticed that on our verification of education form, this is the Connecticut form, it states that transcripts are only required for LS applicants. And I never realized that our form said that. I don't know why we wouldn't want a transcript for PE applicants also. And it's on our standard state form. But in any event, Jane, can you check to see if the University of Delaware Environmental Engineering program is ABET?
Yep, I'll do that right now.
Okay, thank you. I'll jump ahead to Scott Lowe. Scott Lowe is a professor and has 8 years of experience under a PE, was working for Manhattan College teaching. That's his 8 years of experience. He has some additional experience, but all he says is doing inspections as a special inspector. He didn't describe what he was actually looking at. He has an equivalent degree from Australia, and it was deemed equivalent. I'm going to make a motion to approve Scott Lowe for reciprocity.
Second,
Second.
second,
Oh, John, thank you. All those in favor of the motion to approve Scott Lowe, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
Okay, Maria Martinez is the one that has the transcript with just the grades, and NCEES evaluated it and assigned credit hours to each of the courses that she took. She has good experience, license in Texas, and I'm going to make a motion to approve Maria Martinez for Class 4 license.
Thank you, Bob. Is there a second, Mitch? All those in favor of the motion to approve, say aye.
aye,
Any opposed? That motion carries. Marrakesh,
Ruzba Merkesh has a foreign degree from Iran and from the University of Science and Technology. He's missing one course in biology or chemistry. Other than that, it's equivalent. He works in and is licensed in California. I'm going to make a motion to approve Marrakesh.
second,
second. Thank you, John. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
And for
We have an
Lauren,
opening still on COT.
yes, yeah.
Yep. So she has the University of Delaware Environmental Engineering is an ABET accredited course
Okay,
or degree, sorry, since 1998.
okay. And then I will make a motion to approve Lauren Knott for a Class 4 reciprocity.
There's a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Rob. All those in favor of the motion to approve Lauren Cott, say aye.
aye,
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. We have merchant through Slate, reviewed by Rob Lewandowski.
All right, we'll go through them one at a time. Kyle Merchant has a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering Technology from Old Dominion and a Master of Science in, I think it's Environmental Engineering. He graduated in 2018 with his tech degree. And I had to do a chart here. But at the end of the day, he didn't work consistently since graduation. So at the end of the day, I think he has 6 years of experience. So I think he's short. So I would recommend denial due to lack of 7 years of experience, after technology degree. Because according to my numbers, he has 6 years.
Because could the masters be counted as 1 year or no?
What was the question?
Can the masters be counted as a year? But then it would take away a year of, he did his masters while working.
No.
So there'll be a double dip, right? Either
Right,
if I gave him a year of the masters, I'd have to take a year away of the
Right.
experience. Because I looked at it, the master's degree overlapped the time he was actually working.
Okay.
So, Jane, this name sounds familiar. Did we review him previously? Why do I think we did?
I feel like we did. Hold on.
Yeah.
What are you checking, Rob?
I think he sounds familiar. I think we reviewed him previously. I
Oh,
don't know if that matters, but
If somebody works all day and takes a master's in the evening courses, can't that overlap?
You can't count 1 year as 2.
Yeah, but if you're working full time and you're taking a master's course in your extra time, why can't it overlap?
we had this discussion about 2 months ago. Patty had some serious opinions about this overlap, and I tend to agree. If I'm working full-time, that's working. If I get my master's, why should I be penalized for doing
Yeah.
the extra effort? So
Yeah.
as soon as I complete the master's, I should get the 1 year credit.
Correct. Yeah, you're
In my
doing
opinion.
double time. You're not
Right.
yeah.
I'm not
was
going
not-
full-time for school and claiming that as work. I'm doing full-time work and studying
Yeah.
at
Studying
night.
in
I
my
agree.
spare time.
Give him 1 year credit.
Well, the only thing that would happen, then all of a sudden, if somebody graduates, let's say in 2000 and what's 2025, and he works for 3 years and gets a master's, and then all of a sudden he only has 3 years experience with a master's. I think that theoretically they want you to have 4 total years of experience after you graduate, if you want to include your master's. So, and maybe if he has 7 years of lapse time between when he got his degree and his master's, then that accounts for the 7 years, and maybe you don't have to be continuously.
But what you're doing in your master's program is concentrating on something that you're going to use more, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't, if you went to school for 4 years and then took a separate year for your master's, right? You still get the credit for the master's, and now you only have to work 3 years based on the way we've been doing it.
Right. You
Correct.
get a year credit for the master, so it reduces the number of years required by 1. What you can't do is, if you're a full-time master's candidate, you can't use that period as part of your experience.
Right. Yeah. But if you're working your typical I don't know
Right.
what a typical day is, 7 to 7.
Yep.
But if you, and then you take a master's program online or then you should be able to work 3 years and call it 4 years, or work
Right.
6 years and call it 7 years.
All right,
Exactly.
let me put a little another caveat into this thing. So I had to make a grid with his work experience to try to come up with his actual work experience, because he worked
Okay.
at 5 places in that time frame. And you only give month and year for start and finish at each place. So I did best case, worst case. So at minimum, he has 68 months of experience. Maximum, it's 73 months of experience. That's based on start of the month, end of the month. I mean, I'm starting to split hairs to get this person there, but what concerns me, he had 5 jobs in that short time frame, and there was a lot of periods of no work. So that's where my red flag comes up with
All right, so
somebody
he
like
wasn't
this.
working. That's it.
He wasn't working then.
Well,
Okay.
no. Again, he graduated in 2018, 8 years ago. In that
Yeah.
8 years, he's gathered maybe 6 years of experience, maybe. So, I mean, if you want, I could revisit. While we're talking, I can hold on and
Well,
just
then-
take a look at the tech degree, the master's degree, and see if we should maybe consider that. But I had it as overlapping and didn't want to double dip.
Well, then Rob, we could classify that as experience not acceptable to the board if he doesn't have acceptable experience.
That's where I was going. That
Good.
he just didn't make the number. I mean, I would
Yeah.
almost maybe leave it at that. You know, he didn't make 7 years of experience after his degree.
Mm-hmm.
And-
You know, and let him come back and maybe explain something further or detail it better or
Sure, elaborate on it.
I
Yeah,
think
elaborate.
he only needs 6 years.
sure. Plus yeah.
But again,
Wait, so-
are we double dipping? Are we
No.
allowed to
Rob,
double dip?
I did
If they're-
check, he did apply or he went before the board in January of 2025 and was advised at that time that he was lacking 3 years and 11 months. Okay, so now he decided to reapply, not 3 years and 11 months later, but
Agreed. How about we stick with my original recommendation, deny due to lack of acceptable experience after technology degree.
Nice try.
We'll leave it at that.
I'll second that.
Moved and second to deny merchant due to lack of experience following the degree. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
And
Now,
then,
the
so
next-
Rob, just as if I could just interrupt for a second, what's he lacking at this point? Like, does he have 68 months or 73 months? Like,
I'm not sure. Right?
Okay.
Because again, I made a grid, you know, and I said, you know, like 1/2018 to 5/2018, that could be minimum of 4 months, or it could be 5 months, depending on his actual start and end dates. You know, and again, when you have 5 jobs in that short time frame, you know, it makes a difference by 5 months. So he either has 68 months or 73, but I'd have to go back to that 3 years, 11 months short, because that sounds familiar. I might have been the one who determined that a year and a half ago. So I just think keep it vague. He doesn't have 7 years of acceptable experience after.
That's the way to word it. He's lacking the required 7 years of continuous experience following the degree.
Yeah.
which looks like from my notes that's what I tried to do last time.
Well,
But-
do it in capital letters this time.
Well, yeah, but that was a year and a half ago, right? So he might have, maybe he didn't check his math. All right, so the next 3, I'm actually going to recommend approval, but let me just talk about them. So Osterly, Bachelor of Science Civil Engineering, Master of Science Civil Engineering, both from Carnegie Mellon, 39 years of good experience. licensed in 13 states. Not sure why not model law. I'm assuming it's because his degree was in 1985. So again, I'll recommend approval for him. Pantaki, non-model law because he has a foreign degree from Mumbai, University of Mumbai, has a master's in SUNY Buffalo, 33 years of experience. His foreign degree was evaluated as being not equivalent, missing 8 hours of general education on the undergrad, which I said was okay to look past. Again, that's not even taken into consideration his master's degree. So I thought he was okay. James Richardson has a Bachelor of Engineering, a Master of Science of Civil Engineering, and a PhD in Civil Engineering, all from Vrije University in Brussels. So very educated, 7 years of experience, licensed in 5 states. He's non-model law because he's a foreign degree, but NCES said his degree or degrees are equivalent. So all 3 of those, I recommend approval.
There a second?
Oh,
Thank you, John. All those in favor of the motion to approve Osterly, Pantaki, and Richardson for Class 4 reciprocity, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Leaves us with Louise Slate.
So I'm going to make the recommendation to table Louise Slate till next meeting, because I think this person falls into what we just talked about in our executive session. They have a bachelor's in natural resources from UMass and a master's in biological and agricultural engineering from North Carolina State. 21 years of experience, not model law because of lack of undergraduate engineering degree. So prior to this morning's discussion, being consistent with policy, I would have recommended denial. But based on this morning's discussion, I would recommend table and have that degree evaluated by NCES.
I have a question. They both sound like science degrees.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have a master's in engineering.
Master's in biological and agricultural engineering.
That's
I don't know if
not an
that's-
engineering degree, I don't believe.
So we can
But
evaluate that too.
agriculture has a tendency to have in what they call engineering degrees, which are not really engineering degrees. I would say if they're both science degrees.
All right, well then, hey, while you're
Do you
going
have
through the
the
rest,
course?
I'll look that up. We could see if that's an ABET accredited engineering degree, right? Or
I have a question. How many years of experience was it?
21 plus.
And what kinds of experience?
I don't have the application in front of me. I could pull it up.
Okay, I'm just curious because the degrees are confusing to me, but I was wondering what the person did with them.
Yeah, I could pull up the degree. You want to come back to me, Tony?
Okay, we'll table
I
that.
would like, wait a minute, I would like to know if either program is as an accredit, well, if this, let me be clear. If the graduate program has an undergraduate program of the same name that's accredited.
I would agree with that question, John.
I don't think they're both science degrees, and I think it should just be denied for lack of an engineering degree.
I'll check right now.
But John, I didn't hear everything, but you questioned, does the institution that gave her the master's have an undergraduate accredited program in natural resources? Was that the question?
Is the undergraduate program with the same name an engineering program? I suspect
right.
not. That's why I would just say they're both science degrees and just deny it for lack of a four-year engineering degree. Let's simplify it.
Okay, So we're gonna.
I don't think agriculture, I don't think there are engineering degrees within the School of Agriculture.
But Jane's gonna look it up locally, and then we'll decide to table it or request an NCAAS evaluation. That was.
I wouldn't even bother with an evaluation. I
Okay.
just say they're science degrees. You
Well, yeah,
can't
if-
license an engineer, a professional engineer who has only science degrees. It's simple.
Right. If that's the case, I would agree with you, but we still, Jane's gonna check the first threshold and then we'll come back to it.
So they have biological engineering as an accredited degree by itself.
But she got a bachelor's in natural resources.
Natural
it-
resources is often
her-
called engineering, but it's not an engineering program.
No, it's not. The master's is in biological and agricultural engineering.
Um,
And to
Not in
answer
this-
Patty's question, it's a lot of the experience is in flood management, stormwater management, environmental permitting, environmental oriented experience,
Thank you.
hydrology.
I would just make it simple and deny for lack of a four-year engineering degree. Neither of those programs are engineering programs. They may attach the name engineering to them, just like a person who is running a train calls themselves an engineer, or sometimes a maintenance person calls themselves an engineer, but they're not engineers.
So, but Jane just looked up, so the biological engineering is an ABET accredited degree, right, Jane?
That's correct.
Is agricultural engineering an accredited degree there?
No,
An ABET,
The question is what I would like to see transcript, but I don't believe either of them are engineering degrees. Yes, they may have a biological engineering program that is accredited, but that's not necessarily where this person got their degree. They got it in agriculture, as I'm assuming.
I think you're right, John.
You can deny it for lack of engineering degree and let her come back and prove it another way.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think you're right. So I'll make the recommendation on that to deny because of lack of four-year undergraduate
No, don't
engineering
even,
degree.
I would say just lack of an engineering degree, of accredited engineering degree.
And that'll fit within our new thought process from this morning, right?
Yes.
Rather than the lack of undergraduate. So, okay. So I'll make the recommendation to deny due to lack of an engineering degree.
Second,
Moved and seconded to deny Louise Slate due to a lack of qualifying engineering degrees. Say aye. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Next group of applicants, Taylor, Badamula, Wang, Weissing, and Wu, reviewed by Richard Swizak.
Okay, I'm going to start with Benjamin Taylor. He received an associate's degree in 2017. He got a technology degree in December of 2019. And, and I believe that, if he got a degree in December of 2019, he only has 6 years and 3 months of experience counting this month. So, I think that I would deny him from lack of having a 7 years of experience after a technology degree. He has worked after his associate's degree, but it's after he got his technology degree that we should be looking at the timeline to start his experience.
I'll second that.
Thank you, John. All those in favor of the motion to deny Benjamin Taylor due to lack of experience following the degree, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those, any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Wudamula.
Buddha Mula has a degree from India that's deemed equivalent. And the only thing that he has is his fundamentals and his professional licensure is from Australia. So I'm not sure if we're part of that exchange program yet, that where we recognize, different countries, where he did not take any fundamentals or, his principles from the NCAAS test. So I'm not sure if that's acceptable yet.
I don't believe that a foreign exam covers what we require. They have to take the 2 exams in this country.
Yeah, because they list it as AUS, and I believe that's Australia. So it doesn't list, any kind
know
of.
that-
But he,
I know that from time to time, NCAAS has proctored exams in foreign locations. I don't know that this qualifies as such, but it may. You'd have to check on whether or not they were proctored by NCAAS, because they have had foreign exam locations. And I don't know exactly the details, but I know that they have done it.
What's it
So-
say? What's the,
They're trying to expand their marketplace, right? For
right, I
exam.
understand that. I understand it, but what is the applicant's exams? What is the title of the exams the
Yeah.
applicant
it,
took?
well, it doesn't have a title. It's just, on behalf of, the Australia, NCAAS, I'll look it up. Hold on. Let me get back to here.
I think, Richard, if you look at the exam information from, and it's on their letterhead that said that it's there, you know what I mean? It's just like every other results saying that he passed, but I mean, I can confirm it.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at, it says, I'm looking at one says that NCAAS fundamental 6 hours, July of 2023, verified by NCAAS on behalf of Australia. And that's all it says. On, 08/02/2023. So that's his fundamentals. And then I can go to his principles, were verified, exam date March 2024, verified by NCAAS on behalf of Australia on 3/27/24. And that's all it says. And but if that NCAAS letterhead means that it was part of the NCAAS, testing.
I'm a little concerned because of the discussion we had with United Kingdom, where they said their exams were equivalent, and this may be Australia saying their exams are equivalent. Were they NCEES exams? That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's fair to
Well,
request
I
clarification.
guess it does say exam NCAAS PE civil.
Okay.
So maybe, it is, let me go. Yeah, exam, the exam that they list as an NCAAS, fundamentals. So maybe they are equivalent on behalf of Australia. But I'm not sure. So I just wanted to run it by,
Ask
the
them for
board to-
clarification on the NCAAS exams. That's all.
All right. So I mean, if we can get a clarification that it is an NCAAS exam, then it would be acceptable. which leads me to June Wang. She had a degree from China. She has a master's from British Columbia. She took her fundamentals in California, and she has her principles from Alberta. The APEGA, APEGA from Alberta. So
That's not a US, that's not an NCES exam.
So, so I have heard sort of, if that's equivalent or not, I don't know.
I've never heard of a foreign exam being deemed equivalent to a NCES exam, and I don't think they are. I would say if you don't have the US exams, you're not acceptable.
Yeah, because I'm looking at that it's the verification from, June Wang. It says again, it says an NCEES PE Civil 8 hours, April 2021, verified by NCEES on behalf of APEGA on 07/02/21. So, and again, I'm not sure if NCEES is running exams in Canada or not, or whether they just verified the fact that it was an exam. Because it doesn't say anything other than the fact that it's on an NCEES, letterhead.
My suggestion would be for Budamula and Wang is to either ask Jane to clarify or ask them to clarify that they were actually NCEES exams.
Correct. I'll make that motion then, that we clarify whether, these exams that are listed as Australia and in Alberta, that it just to verify that they are NCEES exams.
Yeah. Jane, can you do that internally, or do we have to ask them to do it?
I can double check with NCES.
Just see, yeah, then we'll table these two applications.
Or can we approve
Approve, you
pending?
can approve subject to. Is that acceptable to
Subject-
everybody?
Yes.
So is that a motion to approve subject to verification that the exams taken and passed were administered by NCEES?
Yes, I'll make that motion. Yes, that they if they were, administered by NCEES, then that they would be equivalent.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, John.
Can you report back on these two cases to us?
Will do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm curious.
All those in favor of the motion to approve Woodmula and Wang, subject to verification that the FE and PE exams were administered by NCEES. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, that motion carries. Subject to verification of exams. Okay. That leaves us with Weshong and Wu.
Okay, Weshong has a foreign degree from Germany. He has a PhD from MIT. And he has, 12 years of experience. So I'll make a motion that we approve his application.
I'll second.
Is there a second?
I
Second.
second.
All those in favor of the motion to approve Ashim Moshung for class 4 reciprocity, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Vote on that motion carries. And June Wu.
June Wu has a degree from China. She used our online application to, for, the application, she has a degree from China from 1989. She has a master's from Northeastern in 1997. And she has 36 years of experience. And she requested that we waiver, the assessment of her Chinese degree to, that it is equivalent. And, I know that for the most part, most of the degrees that we've seen from China, they have been equivalent. And she has a letter, in her application that says, I'll just read you, the beginning. I am writing this letter to request a waiver on the requirement for evaluating my foreign curriculum through the NCAA's Foreign Credentials Evaluation Service. My foreign curriculum for my bachelor's degree from Zhejiang University, China has been, it says evaluated by 2 universities in the United States and engineering boards in 2 states. And like you said, she does have a master's from Northeastern, and she is licensed in Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. And she, again, has a master's degree in business administration from UMass, but that's not anything that we care about. So, but anyways,
Can we get a copy of the evaluations that were done by the other 2 states?
well, I don't think that they've evaluated. I think that she's saying
Oh, I
that the
thought-
board's evaluated by looking at them and say, okay, we'll grant you the license.
We ask everybody to evaluate. Why shouldn't she be evaluated?
Well,
Exactly. That's my point is everybody else has to have it evaluated. She should have it evaluated. It's always questionable when she doesn't want it evaluated.
Right.
What's
right.
her reason?
Why? Mm.
and that's why I'm bringing it up to the board. I didn't know if we
Right.
wanted
No,
to,
it
know,
should be
depending on the order.
evaluated.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion that, we don't waiver her, evaluation, that she gets her foreign degree evaluated.
So you're gonna table it for receipt of evaluation by NCAAS.
Correct.
Acceptable? Is there a second to the motion to table the application for reciprocity of June Wu, subject to
I'll
receipt
second it.
of an NCAAS evaluation?
I'll second.
Thank you, John. All those in favor of the motion to table, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. At least we can be consistent on that aspect.
Right.
And now, after a long delay, we have to hear from Susan and Bob Don on review of the land surveying applications of Brenner, Schultz, and Smith for Class 8 exam. How'd we do?
Okay, so Shane Brenner. It's Class 8 comedy, and he's licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. He has 34 years, 2 months of experience. Everything seems to be in order, and I would recommend approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Neil Schultz,
Neil Schultz from Houston, Texas. He has several licenses, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. There was one question, I think he didn't really answer it properly. He said he was denied in 2006 for licensure in Pennsylvania, but maybe his application was incomplete at that time because he's licensed since 2012 in Pennsylvania. He has a BS in civil engineering, licensed in numerous states, and I would recommend approval for Mr.
Second.
Schultz.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rob. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And last is Jason Smith.
Jason Smith from New Jersey. He has 9 years, 5 months experience, 2 degrees. He has the UMaine Surveying Engineering Technology degree. He recently passed his FS and PS, and everything appears to be in order, and I would recommend approval for Mr. Smith.
Second.
A second. Thank you, Robert. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve Jason Smith for Class 8 exam, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Our next item on the agenda, page 6, is approval of Class 9 licenses for multiple applicants from Iardo to Alluri on page 6 and Fabian to Voorhees on page 7. Is there a motion to approve?
So
So
moved.
move.
Thank you, Robert. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, John. All those in favor of the motion to approve Class 9 licenses for applicants on page 6 and 7, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. John DeVolk, you reviewed one more applicant for Class 10 license.
Okay, EE and Tech, Electrical Engineering Technology degree from Excelsior University. Is that an accredited program, Jane?
I will double check right now.
Has 5 years of experience and has taken and passed the FE exam. Does it require that it be an accredited program?
Hang on, I'm checking again.
So electrical engineering technology
Right.
with only 5 years experience.
2000, yeah, November 2021. But I'm wondering for class 10, do we need to verify it even?
Doesn't have the experience, right?
No, yeah, but can't take the second exam because of lack of experience, but we're just proving that he has a FE license.
Oh. We're just approving him for having taken the fundamentals.
Right,
Oh, yeah. We don't even have to look it up.
okay,
It's just in the books right now. Then when he actually applies, you can evaluate the
Okay.
education.
Yeah, it
We
is.
can't prohibit him from taking the exam.
No, so he's already taken the exam, but he that is an accredited technology degree.
okay. I move approval then. Thank you, Jane.
You're
Is there a
welcome.
second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rob. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And Dylan Willett applied for Class 13 license, reviewed by Susan and Bob.
Dylan from West Haven, Connecticut. He's has degrees from Southern and UMaine. In addition, 4 years, 5 months experience. He just passed his FS in February and he's already here now trying to get his SIT. Everything appears to be in order and I would vote to approve him.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve Dylan Willett, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing on that motion carries. We had two other items of business. One of which is the request from Central Connecticut State University, Bin Azal, PhD, PE, looking for support for the land surveying. What did she describe it as? What was the title of it? Let's see. But her question is, are we prepared in some way to allocate time for someone who completed the program? In other words, in our case of engineering, if we have a master's, we get a credit of 1 year. If someone passes this course at the university, would they be given credit for their experience? Do you have an opinion on that, Susan? Since you've been
Yes,
involved.
I have.
Okay.
I've compiled some discussion points on this because we are conflicting in some of our requirements. So if I might, University of Maine, I looked at the program there and they offer 68 credits for their degree. And for that, we give them 4 years towards their what they need to be able to take the exam. However, we also define in the regulations of Connecticut state agencies that an approved course in surveying is at least a BS in surveying from a school or college or university holding the accreditation, including completion of at least 30 semester credits. Okay, so even though UMaine, their program is 68 credits, according to our regulation of Connecticut state agencies, we only require 30 credits, and we give them 4 years for that. For Central, so they're a little conflicting. They say 12 credits of required courses and 3 credits of elective courses. So 12 versus 15. So they have 15 credits. So I think something should be given for that. How much is the question? And while I was at it, I also went into Three Rivers because their program, they are also looking to have to be able to boast that they can apply some time with their program towards being able to take the exam. So Three Rivers has 20 credits, so they have more than Central. So I would say, you know, at least if you get 4 years for a bachelor's degree from UMaine, you should get something from Southern and Central and Three Rivers. How much we can debate. And then another item that I'd like to bring up is that if you have 30 credits that you take on your own, you don't have any kind of degree from a school. What we offer now, per the regulations of Connecticut state agencies, is completed survey courses may be used as party chief experience at the rate of 1 year experience per 30 semester credits. So now we're only giving them 1 year of party chief experience for 30 credits, where we're given 4 years for 30 credits from UMaine. So given all that, what do you all think?
Well, the UMaine is a bachelor's program, right?
Correct.
And that gives you 4 years of experience as what are you allocating it to toward experience as a party chief?
UMaine?
Yeah.
No, we just give them 4 years right off the top, according to the chart that Jane sent.
Their
Or,
total experience thing is cut down by 4 years.
That's right. Total experience, 4 years is applied.
I not knowing the specifics of the courses available at Central, it's hard to put an exact number to what those courses are equivalent to what you do at UMaine. I mean, that's an accredited survey program. So
How many credits is the main course?
Well, the website says 68 credits, but I've noticed that actually with two of our applicants today, they're both graduates of UMaine, and I looked at their transcript and I counted, and they had roughly 30 plus courses. So they didn't appear to have the full 68 courses. And some of those were transfers, like one of our applicants is like he did some work at UMaine, but mostly UMaine accepted many of his transfer courses.
do you know where those were from, Susan?
I do. Parkland College.
Not familiar.
I'd have to look that up where that was. I mean, it was, you know,
If it's
relatively
coming-
impressive what the courses were, but
if I could jump in just a little bit of thought, I know that two people here have taken the main course. They put in a lot of work and they deserve some credit for it. And if it's 4 years, they deserve it. In this case, you're given 15 credits. Is it worth 1 year? You know, it's a good program to introduce it and encourage more to take part. If he's
I
looking,
would support 1 year. I mean, that's
yeah,
mathematically makes sense to me.
Mhm.
I think it's something that we should support by offering a credit of time. It's not that difficult to say it. I don't know what the process of it is. It's not codified in our regulations, but she can help in the legislative process by getting it introduced. But in the meantime, as a board, I see no reason why we can't give credit to someone who has done that. Here we are again, evaluating the experience on our own. And I would give them at least a year credit for it.
And also Three Rivers, a year for
Sure.
that.
Sure, why not? I mean,
Okay.
whatever the program is, they're making a good effort to encourage people to participate in the program and to become licensed, and we need them. And I think that's a bare minimum of a year. It's not a, I think that kind of experience is a lot better than suggesting that they have to be part of a field crew. That's all. And I'll say it again, some of our most talented surveyors have never drilled a hole in a rock.
Mhm. And how about the instance where the party chief, I mean, the 30 credits, like if you take the classes, 30 credits someplace, and you're only getting 1 year as a party chief, can we change that to just 1 year experience in
Yeah.
some capacity?
That's what I would say is that
Okay.
it be broader in how it's
I
applied.
agree with that simply on the basis of these categories of what the crew is all about. They don't make sense anymore. So you should just give experience and stop trying
Yes.
to pigeonhole into somebody dragging a chain around because it doesn't exist anymore, in my opinion.
Sounds great.
So
I think that's real progress.
I don't know what formality we have to make other than to say, if there's a consensus today by this board with public members and licensed surveyors, that when we evaluate an application, I certainly would agree that a year of experience should be credited to anyone who participated and passed this program. It work?
It works for me, and certainly should the program expand over time, that credit should expand with it.
Sure, absolutely.
So is this something we're going to vote on?
You have to make a motion because I think it goes along with what we were doing with engineering this morning, in that we can evaluate the experience, and it could be a policy to completion of a surveying curriculum at either Central Connecticut or Rivers, New Rivers, Three Rivers. That it's worth, I had written down in my notes, it's certainly worth a year of experience. That was my feeling in reviewing this. So make a motion if you wish to make it.
Should it
As
be
a
more
policy-
general?
Excuse me?
Should it be more general that if there's other schools that offer such
Yes.
a thing, we consider it on some basis of determining the years allowed? Like,
These
we
are,
were saying 15 credits. Is 15 credits a year, and would that apply to other schools?
that would be good. It doesn't necessarily equate to what that we've already decided on Maine, right? But I agree with you, Patty. Somehow, related to the number of credits, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so that we
Okay.
don't put in it that it's just those two schools. We actually allow it for others if it's applicable.
Since
So we take
Central
care
is
of a
15,
broader base.
Yeah. since Central's 15 and Three Rivers is 20, should it be a minimum of at least 15 credits of an approved curriculum?
Yeah, acceptable to the board,
Yes,
will be credited 1 year of experience.
right.
Right, so Central then, Central. They will have to modify their request, the information that they sent us, because they have required is 12 credits, elective is 3 credits. And they'll have to modify that to make required 15 credits.
Right.
So do
That's
you want
great.
me to kind of make the motion?
Susan gonna make the motion, or Patty?
Or Pat? All right. So I will
would
make a
leave it to
motion
Susan.
that in the future, we will require, or we will allow 15 credits to be considered towards 1 year of experience, specifically relating to Central Connecticut University, Three Rivers, and that's the certificate in land surveying program. Three Rivers Environmental Engineering Technology program, which is also land surveying and geographical information systems technician certificate, and other programs that we deem meet the requirements for the correct courses for in allowing 15 credits that we will consider when we're reviewing the applications. And also finally, for the, we will also allow 1 year for completed surveying courses. Completed survey courses, are we at the rate of 15 credits will be 1 year.
Equivalent.
You might be more general and say we would allocate 1 year experience for completion of it's, I guess we'll call this technology, the program in surveying of a minimum of 15 credits acceptable to the board.
Okay, and is the,
Because what Patty pointed out is that we weren't being specific to Central and Three Rivers. There may be other programs.
right, and we want to add the person who's also taking the 30 survey credits, they're also allowed 1 year if it's not a certificate program.
Okay. So again, it's any program deemed appropriate or to the board with a minimum of 15 credits. 1 year per 15 credits.
Okay,
You should probably write it up and present it again in a more formal manner so that we can look at it and say, you could respond to Dr. Chow that we're in favor of 1 year of experience, but we have to codify it and get it in a more formal policy. How's that?
sounds good.
At least tell her we're favorable, we're working up a policy, we'll distribute it for review. But we're in support of allocating a year of experience toward completion of the degree program. Is that a fair motion for now,
Yes.
just to advise? Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Bob. So as discussion, Susan, you'll write it up,
Sure,
okay, and present it to Dr. Zhao, and then continue the dialogue to make it formal for our next meeting.
sounds good.
All right, the last item on the agenda today is.
Did we
need to
actually
vote.
have the vote?
Huh?
We
did
need
We
to
vote.
actually
vote
did
on that.
vote. We made.
All right, there's
the
a motion then for Susan to develop a more formal summation of our support for allocating a year of experience to programs that are of a minimum of 15 credits. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Bob. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carried. Sorry for rushing through that. And then our minutes from the March meeting. I alluded to some of the comments that were made, but those were the only points I noted. So is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented, or are there any amendments or additions to be added?
I'll move acceptance.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Our next meeting is August 11th. I'm going to today
August 11th?
put the words to our, what we think
May.
we resolved this morning and send it back to Jane for distribution and wordsmithing. It was exhausting but productive. And thank you, Al, Rob, and John for leading the charge in the summation, which is, I hope, very productive. Well, I feel it's very productive.
May 12th, right?
May 12th,
May 12th.
What's May 12th? Sorry.
our
Next
next meeting.
Oh.
And was
did I
there a
read it back
complaint?
here? Did I
Okay,
make a
can ask
mistake? Huh?
question?
You said August.
The
You know
pre-
why?
the-
I do this, I did it twice. I did it last month too. I did it at the back page. May 12th, yes, thank you for reminding me. It's on my calendar, but I looked at the last page, sorry. May 12th.
Okay,
Agreed.
I got an assignment from you, of course, on this, so I'm gonna wait for what you come up with and
Yes, sir.
then we're gonna wait to May to make comments again, or,
I think, yeah,
okay?
I guess we have to make it official, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
just
write it today.
looking for the timing on it to get back to, The guy I have to get back to, I forgot his name. To Strand. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Al. All
Second.
those in favor, say aye.
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 It was a long morning.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good
Okay.
month,
You
everybody.
too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.